Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lions Den with another news and commentary. I'm doing an update on the Amber Guyger murder trial. The former Dallas police officer who was accused of killing Botham Jean in his own apartment. Now, this story, the defense of Amber Guyger, is going to tell the media, get this guys, that what she did to Botham Jean was justified. So let me get this right. She went into the apartment that think it was hers and know that that apartment wasn't hers, but to think it was hers. And the door was open and ajar. She saw a guy who was really his apartment, shot and killed this guy, Botham Jean. But yet the defense said what she did was justified. I'm going to go ahead and read this. It says, new documents submitted by attorneys on both sides of the Amber Guyger murder trial reveal some of the main issues that may come up in court. A hearing in the case is scheduled for Friday morning at 9 a.m. Jury selection is set to start next month. Guyger, who's set to face trial for the 2018 murder of Botham Jean, the now former Dallas police officer, claims she went to John's apartment thinking it was her own and mistakenly shot him, believing he was an intruder. In the new documents, both sides appear to be anticipating certain issues about Guyger's character and her use of deadly force that might be brought up during the trial and need to be discussed before being heard by a jury. A new motion by the state said the defendant will argue that her use of deadly force was justified as deadly force in self-defense. I'm going to stop you right there. Now, this is funny, okay? The defense attorney wants to tell the court that Amber Guyger, what she did to Botham Jean was justified. But they forgot to mention that Botham Jean not only was unarmed, but she killed him in his own apartment, thinking it was hers, after she had a long overtime shift at her job as a police officer. That doesn't make any sense. But we heard the audio, and I did a story on this. You heard the 911 call from Amber Guyger, and she knew she messed up by killing Botham Jean in his apartment. And yet the defense attorney was saying, well, to prove that, which we don't even know what kind of evidence they're going to prove in court, saying that, you know, what she did to Botham Jean was justified. All right, let's continue. But the state said that argument requires reasonable belief that will be held by an ordinary and prudent person in the same circumstances. Criminal defense attorney Todd Shapiro is not involved in the case. He said the state may want to portray Guyger as a normal citizen who held to the same standards as everyone else. Would an ordinary person in this circumstances have reacted in the same way that Ms. Guyger reacted? Would they have used the same amount of force, Shapiro said? Would they have reacted the same way as she did as opposed to a police officer reacting in the way she reacted? Another motion filed by the defense pleads for character trait evidence to be allowed in court, possibly to show committing a murder is not in Guyger's character. Okay. I'm going to stop you right there. So the defense, in other words, the defense trying to tell the court she never murdered anyone. That's not her character. But she went into Botham Jean's apartment. She admitted that she was in a wrong apartment, in the wrong floor. And then she went into his apartment thinking it was hers. She pulled out a gun, shot and killed him. And then she called 911 trying to get help. But yet, the defense saying that this is not her character. By committing murder is not her character. And what she did to Botham Jean was justified. Man, get the hell out of here. I'm reading this. It said, it seems from some of the things they filed there may be some specific character traits they want to be able to get into about her that will shed some light on some positive character traits that may say she's not the type of person that will commit this kind of act, Shapiro said. That she's not the type of person that committed a murder. Attorneys of both sides argue all these issues need to be heard outside the presence of a jury first in order to decide if they'll be allowed in court. I am very intrigued on what's going to happen, Shapiro said. From the venue, from the facts in the case, from the outcome, I think everyone will be watching it very closely. A judge has yet to decide on defense requests for a change of venue out of Dallas County. And I'm going to get to that situation in a second. For Friday's hearing, court officials said Guyger isn't required to be there, but there's a 2-day pretrial hearing scheduled for August 19th and 20th where she must be present. I'm going to go back to the second and last article, and it says the judge has yet to decide on a defense request for a change of venue out of Dallas County. You want to know why they want to leave Dallas County? Because I'm gonna keep it 100. There's a lot of black jurors that would love to take this case, and they felt that Amber Guyger will not have a fair trial. That's mainly the reason why they want Amber Guyger out of Dallas County into a change of venue. Because if they would have stayed in Dallas County, the lawyer would say that she wouldn't even have a fair trial. So that's why the defense said they want to change of venue. But let's go back to what the defense says that what she did was justified. She admitted on the 911 call that she was in the wrong house. She was basically, she did an overtime and she was tired. She went into, Botham Johnson's floor, went into Botham Johnson's apartment thinking it was hers. She thought it was an intruder, and then that's when she shot and killed Botham John in cold blood in his own apartment. But yet the defense attorney who represented her said that she's not a murderer. Basically, that's not her character, and what she did was justified. Now, any human being, any common sense would tell you that this woman killed him in cold blood. And again, watch how the defense attorneys are going to play this out. Number one, they're going to get a change of venue because guess what? They said that she will not get a fair trial. And number two, she's going to go there telling the world what she did was justified. But like you said, before she was arrested, they never even arrested her. They never even filed charges of shooting Botham John from the beginning, and it took public pressure to finally say, yeah, she need to be arrested. She need to be charged with murder of Botham John. At first, they would not allow even seek criminal charges against Amber Guyger. And now all of a sudden they want to do it. So now they're going to use that justify case in self-defense. But realistically, unless there's evidence, which I don't think there is, but unless there's evidence that Botham John tried to do something to her, and then she pulled out a gun and shot and killed him in his own apartment, basically, there's no evidence that the self-defense will not fly. I'm sorry. And I'll be surprised if the judge in this case will accept the defense attorney's thing that what Amber Guyger did to Botham John was justified and what she did was self-defense. Ain't no judge in the world that would even accept this unless, they're pro-police. So tell me what you think about this case. This is just really ridiculous. But like, click, subscribe, and remember to click the notification bell for all the news and commentary. With that being said, this is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.